I'm going to show you how to turn one whole cow into only 3 servings of sauce. I'm going to make you Bordelais sauce. I actually want to make a special Bordelaise, but then I thought, oh, I'm kind of scared if it f***s up, let's have some backup. And that is why it's going to be a 2-part video series. Part 1 is going to be a classic Bordelais sauce, and part 2 is going to be the special one. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be another video. Yeah, let's put our bones on the tray. About 2 to 4 knuckle bones, and about 1.5 kilos, maybe 2 kilos of soup bones. I don't want to keep these upright, so. You're gonna need also about 2 to 4 bone marrow halves. Pretty much preheat the oven. We want to roast the bones. So to do that, I'm gonna put it at 160 for maybe like 40 minutes. So whilst it heats up and we put the bones in, we'll chop the veggies. Oh yeah, there's this thing called mirepoix, and that's the 3 carrots, onions, and celery. The other 2 vegetables is leek and garlic. This is gonna make the mirepoix for both of these. In the end, I will separate about 1/4 to 1/3 to make the special one, which you'll see later on. This is illegal, but basically it's lard, smoked and infused with a bit of garlic that I got from Picanha that I bought the other day. 3 tablespoons worth, but yeah, it's gonna be hella smoky. About 2 tablespoons of peppercorns. About 1 tablespoon of salt to begin with. We're gonna reduce it, so keep in mind.
How much is this gonna make?
In terms of demi-glace, maybe like 4 liters.
4 liters.
Oh, maybe like 2. When you're cooking your vegetables, after it's wilted, add a whole tube of tomato paste and a whole bottle of red wine. Now you want to get Bordeaux. Yeah, it tastes like $8. You know, from the French region. So you can say, oh, it's proper Bordeaux. Have a nice tight butthole when you say that. Cool. I got some thyme. We're gonna put these in the fridge. Just gonna leave it overnight. All right, let's say you take your bones out. Here we go. Nice and brown. Your house is gonna smell kind of. So yeah, put the bones in. Make sure you scrape the pan that you roasted the bones. When you put it in the pot, fill that pot most of the way to the top. And optional head of parsley. And do this shit with baking paper like you see. Cool.
What does that do?
I don't fucking know. I'm just copying what people I've seen on the internet. Someone tell me, please, in the comments. Yeah, let's leave it closed. You got a little hole in it. The fun part is where you boil it for 12 hours. Now, so I boiled it overnight. Once you boil it overnight, you want to let it cool for the most part, so you can handle it. Strain it all out. Now, when you strain it, and to put it into different containers, it's going to separate. There's going to be a big amount of oil at the top. Make sure you use cheesecloth. Now, you put that in the fridge. Once it cools down, you should be able to take the fat off the top of it. Here's the thing. I didn't reduce it before I cooled it down, so I had to reduce it afterwards. What happens when you reduce it first, a little bit, the collagen concentrates inside the stock so that it becomes jelly-like when it's cold. But I didn't, so it's still liquid, and I had to like try and get all the fat out best as I could. Look, it was pretty painstaking and everything like that, making the stock. For the part where you actually make the sauce, obviously you want some butter. This is arbitrary. Ask ChatGPT about it, but basically get Bordeaux. I think Cabernet Sauvignon from Margaret River or something is pretty close. Bay leaves and thyme, optional if they're dry or fresh. And your shallots that you cut up earlier. I gotta be honest, if you wanted to bastardize it, it'd be pretty easy. Just get like those beef instant stock cubes. Add water to it, condense it, and then you can do this. Your really sharp knife, oh yeah, for this you really want it to be super thin. The sharper it is, the less you have to rely on pressing down, if that makes sense. So this is the bone marrow. $30 grams of butter, about 4 to 5 tablespoons of shallot, 2 bay leaves, like a fat pinch of dry thyme will do. Put it on about like a slightly higher than medium. Do this until the shallots are like soft. I remember that time in your life where you thought you were French for a little bit? I'm gonna do something that's gonna set your fire alarms off if you don't turn them off. We're gonna reduce the shit out of this. There's the way that does this, it gets rid of the alcohol quickly. Look, once it looks something like this, we're gonna put the stock in. The reason it's called brown stock is, well, because it's brown. All seriousness, it turns brown because you like roast the bones and it becomes brown. Once you reduced it, after you've filtered the stock and wine reduction, I want you to put the rest of your chunked up bone marrow. If you cut it up into small bits, it might melt a bit better, but Look, if you whisk it enough, it's gonna be pretty good. So you have the sauce, and if I do this and it doesn't like move here or there, then that's good. Bordelais works really well when you have like a piece of meat that isn't very flavorful. So like filet mignon. I mean, untraditional as it is, I'm gonna smoke some picanha because it's fun. And let's hope it works with the Bordelais. Look, delicious picanha. Oh, okay, not too bad. Yeah, smoking up picanha is pretty bussin'. Bruh. Yeah, it actually does taste like what you buy at some fancy French place. Fuck, I wish I had some potatoes. I like mashed potato with this. A richness that you can't replicate unless you like condense like protein water, i.e. stock, and then like mix it with a condensed red wine, so it's kind of a bit acidic and that sort of thing. I reckon this sort of sauce is kind of worth trying to make. Okay, up next I'm going to show you how to do like a slightly interesting version of this, where I put a bunch of random stuff that you would say, oh, that's bastardizing it, and it makes the French people angry. But I'm playing, so